welcome back to the SSK show. My name is Mr. Best Kirk.
He's just.
And I'm B.
And we have DCD or Artelli. Yeah, you're far away. We can't hardly hear you.
Speak up. No.
We're going to continue on with the Catholic Church, what we were talking about.
So this is part two.
Part two of it, yes.
Pennsylvania priest sexual abuse and the grand jury's report. So we are just going to try to, add a little bit to it and conclude.
Yes.
What I was saying is I think that...
Huh?
We were so cut off.
And gross. Yes, we were. We were abruptly cut off by
Smitty.
But
That's okay.
But one of the things that I think should happen is just, I mean, I know that the reason why this grand jury report is out, to shed a light on it and try to come up with some type of solution. But I mean, my goodness, what is the solution to all of this? How do you get rid of, a pedophile ring, of Catholic priests? How do you do that? And how did it even start? How did that even start? So I think that once we get more information, because this is only day 2 that they've been talking about this on the news, but
True.
I think once we get more information, we'll have definitely more to talk about. But it's just crazy.
And with that is that, like you said, well, what I'm going to say is, what's the outcome going to be? What's going to happen? I think they arrested a couple of priests that are, because the thing that we didn't really kind of touch on is that the statute of limitations is up for most of these cases, and they did arrest a couple of the priests that where it's within that statute of limitations. But we need to know what's going to happen. The Vatican has not responded to these reports or these allegations, or the grand jury's report rather, and so there needs to be there's still a whole lot to do.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, how does a crime like this have a statute of limitations?
Exactly.
You know what? I think that's one of the things
goodness.
that they were talking about on the news, is that they're trying to figure out a way to change that so that they can go back and get those ones that are still alive, basically.
Yes, because they're trying, because we kind of talked about this, DCD. There is no statute of limitations on certain crimes, but on, I guess, this particular crime, there is. What is it, 10 years? Is that what it is? Or what is it? I'm not sure if it's 10 years. Actually, I may not be telling the truth. But anyway, it's up. Whatever it is, whatever amount of time, it's up. You can't put a limit on child sexual abuse.
Yeah.
You cannot. You can't.
Cannot.
And, it doesn't come out because these children, of course, don't want to say anything, and they're looking up to these priests. They're like their heroes. They're mentors. They're kind of everything to them, so they don't say anything. Right. So we just want to see something happen where there's a change. We've been hearing about this way too long. I mean, this has been going on for a long, long time. So there needs to be a change in the Catholic Church overall. And the priests need to do what they need to do. And if they are called by God, then you need to be godly. Mm-hmm. And if you're godly, you are not going to molest anyone, but especially children.
And if you think that's part of your makeup, you should get some type of therapy or something to try to curb that, because that's not normal, And I mean, anything that's truly not normal, you should try to to get some help for.
Yes.
Definitely. Some people gonna say, well, you could be a pedophile all day. Like I say about being gay, it's, if you choose not to practice that. As far as gay, that's different. But as far as pedophilia, you have to choose not to practice that if that's what's in you. And if the desire is too strong, then you need some therapy, because it's not right. That person knows it's not right, or else there would be no cover-ups. There would be no grooming of kids. There wouldn't be any of that. So.
And not to say that this is what you're saying, Brian, but just to be clear, homosexuality and pedophilia are two totally different things.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes people like to equate the two, but they are not the same.
Right.
You can be a pedophile and be a homosexual. You can be a homosexual and not be a pedophile.
Yeah.
Two totally
And you
different
can be
things.
totally straight and be a
Unfortunately, in
pedophile.
this case, these priests were both.
Exactly.
But again, those were two separate and distinct things.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I'm not sure if we have anything else to add.
Not really.
Right? We really just wanted to wrap up this particular topic and give our own views and opinions. Smitty left us, so he had something else to do. But
But
go ahead.
I was going to say, but what do you think? Because I don't know if we were
Go
going to
ahead.
change the subject to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Omarosa
Go
thing. But I'm so happy that Omarosa recorded those tapes. They're trying to down her for recording it, but like she said, if I wouldn't have recorded it, everybody would have said I was lying. So I don't care what the fuck. Well, she didn't say that, but she said she's
care.
so glad. She don't care what anybody thinks, and she's going to keep letting those tapes be played. You know, because they can't. You can't deny the tape. You can't deny it. And they were trying. But and you see, you heard those two. There was those two.
I did. I hear
Those
I
two
heard about-
women.
Oh, wait, what happened?
I cannot
She talking about-
participate this discussion.
You cannot.
So I am going
Oh,
to
yes.
let it go.
Yes.
Okay.
And have a good one.
All
Yes.
right.
Thank you. So have a good night.
Good night.
She's out.
Yes. So,
Bye, JC.
Yeah.
as far as Omarosa, I mean, I am glad that those tapes came out. The only thing is, I honestly don't care for Omarosa. I have not liked
Right.
her
Me either.
ever. But the thing is, well, there's a couple of things. So on one hand, I'm glad because it does show, of course, again, who this particular person is, who's our president, who the people are who work for him. However, Omarosa is not a good person. First of all, you knew from years ago who Trump was. You worked for him, and they asked you questions about who that particular person was, and you said he was a great person. Now all of a sudden you come back because he fired you and say he was racist. He is not, not this great person. So it kind of looks a little bit bad on her part.
Now she did say that she knows she was complicit with a lot of things that Trump did and Trump said and things like that. But the racial thing, from what she said, was never anything that she dealt with one-on-one or anything like that. And she said once she got wind of him using the N-word, she decided, once she got wind of him
We have
using
extra room now.
Oh, right.
I'm coming back.
Once she got wind of him using the N-word, that's when she decided to, kind of investigate. And she asked two, people that worked on The Apprentice, or worked in the White House, or wherever they worked, two women. And they were denying all this stuff. They kept saying that Omarosa kept bringing up the racial issue and stuff like that. And then when Omarosa played that tape, they showed both of those women were lying, and then they tried to cover it up, So I'm so glad Omarosa.
See, I didn't hear the tape with the racial slur. I've always thought that he was a racist. It's just, I'm sure most people who are of color thought that.
Yeah.
I am glad that came out.
Mm-hmm.
I wish, though, that Omarosa just wouldn't have been stuck up Trump's ass.
Yeah.
And would have. She knew the person that he was. She may not have heard the racial slurs, but she knows he is not a great person. It just didn't come out just now after he fired her, or whoever fired her. I don't know if it was him directly.
It was the Secretary of State. But in her defense, she was saying that she knew. Wait a minute. What did you just say? Because it was.
I wish because she had to know the type of person he was. Earlier on.
She said she did know the type of person. What she did say was that she was trying to emulate him, his success, and that type of thing, and that's what drew her to him, and that's what started the relationship. She said, but it took time for her to learn these different things about him. She just figured, that people were, I guess, making up stuff until she
but
found
my
out
thing
for real.
is that I think that us as good people in this world, we want the best for, especially our own, right? We know we're a minority, and even though he has the success, I think she was thinking of herself, not
definitely.
as a group. Like, I think that we could do something for the good of our race or of minorities, right? We would do that. She was only thinking of Omarosa.
Yeah.
She's not the greatest person. Now, the only
She's
thing
not.
is, I hope that this helps to let everybody know the type of person that's in the office. Maybe it will contribute to some type of investigation. I don't know.
I hope
I mean,
Elisa
I've
has
just
been
been
impeached
praying.
because I don't care for
I
him
know.
being...
I was gonna say I've been praying for impeachment.
Right, right.
It just not seem to happen. Doesn't matter what he says. He tweets. He just called her a dog.
Yeah.
What is a dog? I mean, basically to me, he's calling her a bitch because he called her a dog. Now, come on.
Yeah.
And it's nothing he can't get. There's nothing he can't get away with.
And that's the issue I have. It seems like everybody, well, not everybody, but it just seems like there's so much acceptance of everything he does. He can just lie,
Yes.
and nobody really calls him up on it. Not really. There's no consequence for him. And even when he knows he's standing up there lying, he just does it anyway.
And that's what she said. And I already knew he's a liar. He lies about. There's so many things he's lying about. So he's lied about. So I'm just hoping that maybe with her, the only thing that I really, because I don't like her, but the only thing I think that could come out of this, or maybe that will come out, is that because she's standing up and she's saying certain things, maybe other people will. They won't be afraid now, and they can come out and say these things he's done, and we can get him out of office.
Maybe.
He's a terrible person. He shouldn't run this this country. We can't look up to him. He's horrible.
Right.
He is a horrible person. He's talked about every single thing. A disabled person, people of color, women. He's degraded every body that he can.
And every black person, that's what they were saying. When he has an issue with people, and he tweets all types of negative things about people. But whenever he tweets anything about people black, he always calls
names,
dumb.
right?
He always talks
calls-
about being not intelligent. And that's one of the main things that somebody was just talking about on the news. Is that whenever he's trying to disparage black people, it's always they're the dumbest, or they're the Maxine Waters, the lowest IQ.
Right.
And there was somebody, one of her fellow senators or whatever, was saying she is one of the smartest people walking, as far as the political sides and views that she had. So he just says that. Because he's just trying to downgrade her,
There's not a whole lot. That's the thing. If you listen to him, he doesn't sound intelligent himself. But that's the thing. All he has are insults, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing really that he has to say about anybody that is credible.
Yeah.
It isn't. It's not credible.
No.
So hopefully, after this, if there are enough people that rally behind it that are important enough, they can get him out of office. I don't know.
It's going to. I don't know. It's just going to take this Russia thing for them to prove that he colluded. Or he
it's
had
going to
some
be
knowledge
something
of
illegal
stuff.
that he did.
It's gonna come
I am
out.
really hoping that this happens, because he has I think brought us down as a country a lot of steps down. I used to hold us high up. And with him being in office, I just question. I question
All
this country.
these white people they feel empowered to be totally racist.
Right.
What do they call that lady, Patty? Calling the police on a 7-year-old and all that.
Yes, all of these, I guess they consider them privileged white people that no matter with black people, one, I think it was a college student sleeping, she fell asleep.
In
Called
her
the
dorm.
police on her, yes.
Yes.
And people, they were the teenage boys at a pool playing basketball. Remember they were at the park, and the black people were grilling outside that woman. I think that's that Patty woman.
Yeah.
So they just feel like they can do these things now because it's all because of Trump.
What is that?
Okay. So
Yeah, Trump has empowered people, to be really racist, and it's just outrageous. He turned this country upside down as far as I'm concerned, and I miss
Definitely.
Obama.
I was gonna say, bring the Obamas back, please.
Yes, I don't care
So-
what. I just want Trump out of there
Yeah,
so bad.
Definitely. It's just gonna be better for everyone.
Yeah.
But I think we are going to wrap this up. So this is Misha C. All about me.
And this is B saying, hey.
So we're gonna just say goodbye and hope you all have a great night.